afternoon. My name is Zan,
And my name is Noah.
and today we'll be presenting on a paper titled Nanoparticles Based Drug Delivery and Gene Therapy for Breast Cancer Recent Advancements and Future Challenges, written by Mirza and Karim. Our focus is on how nanoparticles are being used to improve gene therapy for breast cancer and what makes them a promising upgrade over traditional methods. Breast cancer needs better treatment. Right now, we have treatment such as chemotherapy, gene therapy, and nanoparticles. They're all good job, but they all have their cons towards them. Breast cancer remains one of the leading causes of cancer-related deaths in women worldwide. Traditional treatments like chemotherapy and radiation often harm healthy cells and come with serious side effects. Gene therapy offers a targeted solution. It works by introducing or silencing specific genes to fight cancer more precisely. But delivering those genes safely and effectively is still a huge challenge to this day, and that's where nanoparticles come in. The nanoparticles types used, there are several being used to this day. The paper discusses several types of nanoparticles used in gene therapy for breast cancer. First of all, there's lipid-based nanoparticles like liposomes, which are great at encapsulating genetic material like siRNA. Secondly, there's polymeric nanoparticles, especially PLGA, which allow for controlled release over time. Third of all, gold nanoparticles are being used because they're stable and easy to modify. And lastly, there is chitosan-based nanoparticles, which are naturally derived and biocompatible. Each of these types have their own strength depending on what kind of gene therapy is being used. Then we come to the application of nanoparticles. In this case, the application is gene therapy specifically for breast cancer. The goal is to use nanoparticles to deliver therapeutic gene directly to cancer cells. These might be genes that suppress tumors or siRNA molecules that silence cancer-causing genes. By using nanoparticles as carriers, scientists can make sure that therapy reaches the tumor, which is more accurate, instead of affecting the entire body like chemo does. And another thing I like to add is nowadays with chemotherapy, there is a lot of side effects that prevents people from taking chemo, which is a huge downside. How nanoparticles are used in this application, here's how it works. Nanoparticles can be engineered to recognize specific markers on cancer cells. For example, HER2 positive cells in aggressive breast cancer. Once they reach the tumor, they release their genetic payload like siRNA or DNA plasmids. Lipid nanoparticles protect fragile genes from being degraded, while polymeric types can time the release for better effect. This smart delivery makes the therapy more effective and less toxic. This enhances permeability and retention, effective concentrates nanoparticles inside tumors. This is basically these nanoparticles are targeting specific cancer cells, so they're not affecting the whole entire body. Now, moving on to advantages of nanoparticle-based delivery. There are several big advantages, such as
Oh,
target.
no, I think you skipped one.
Okay, yes, I did.
It's the method.
What is improving? What method is being improved? Before nanoparticles, more gene therapies used viral vectors, basically genetically modified viruses. While they were effective, they had serious risks, like causing immune reactions or even inserting genes in the wrong places. This method is basically inserting viruses into your body so your body learns to fight back, but it's not always a strong case because your body is everybody's different. Nanoparticles offer a non-viral alternative that's safer, more customizable, and easier to mass produce. So they're not just an improvement, they're a potential replacement for this risky technology. Now, advantages of nanoparticle-based delivery. There are several advantages, such as target delivery means fewer side effects, Protection of genetic material keeps the therapy intact until it reaches the cancer, so it won't spread everywhere else before it gets to the targeted cell. Better control over release, improve outcomes, and because they're synthetic, nanoparticles can be adjusted for different patients and are easier to scale up in labs. So this is back where I was referring to. Everybody's different, so everybody needs different. How do you say?
Everybody would need like something like unique to them, which is why nanoparticles are very efficient in this area, like cancer research, because you can effectively like customize the nanoparticles to the patient, which is revolutionary instead of just giving them like general treatment like chemotherapy or radiation therapy, which is why this is like a huge step up compared to just the traditional methods. And also, it's less expensive and less dangerous because you're not bombarding your body with radiation. You're just putting little tiny particles in there.
Yes, sir. Now, challenges and future directions. Of course, there's still challenges. Not everything's perfect or up to date. Scientists are still trying to figure out long-term safety of nanoparticles, like whether they build up in the body. Manufacturing at a large scale is also tricky, especially keeping it consistent and affordable. And regulatory hurdles make it hard to move from lab tests to real-world treatment. But despite all that, the progress being made is really promising.
Another thing I'd like to add is the potential downside for nanoparticles is how small they are. So, say you're only using nanoparticles to like penetrate a certain membrane, and since they're small enough to where they penetrate the membrane, who's to say that they can't penetrate other cells' membranes accidentally? So that's another factor that's going into the research here, that they don't accidentally penetrate the wrong cells. So that's what makes it really hard to translate to patient use because there isn't really enough research onto how safe that can be or how controllable that factor can be.
Yes, sir. Summing it all up, nanoparticles are transforming gene therapy for breast cancer. They offer safer, more precise ways to deliver treatment. Although there is a downside to nanoparticles, it is a safer solution instead of doing chemotherapy on certain people and could help reduce the burden of side effects from current therapies. We're still in the early stage, but the research gives us a glimpse of what the future of cancer therapy might look like. One smarter, safer, and more effective.
It is also very promising. Like that's what I like about it. It's very promising that it's so customizable. And here's our references. We did base our presentation off of this credible resource by Midin and Karim. This was their study on nanoparticle-based drug delivery and gene therapy for breast cancer. So if you really want to look more into it yourself, you can look at the link here. And then this is our participation form. I created the PowerPoint skeleton, I wrote the scripts, and I am the concluding presenter, which I'm doing right now. And Zion here helps refine it a bit. So he helps make everything look prettier and like less technical. That way it's easier to digest over video rather than reading. And he's also our main presenter. So little clap for Zion.
Like,
And that'll be it for our presentation. Thank you for listening. I hope you had an educational experience.